Everything in this video is alleged, and these are solely the opinions of just me. This tragic case happened in Lubbock, Texas, January 7th, 2020. For those of you that are not familiar with this case, you are going to be totally pissed off when you find out what happened. This is another case that stayed on my mind, and due to COVID, it had been pushed back. The little girl's name was Marian Montoya, and she was only 10 months old. She would have seen her first birthday, which would have been February 10th, 2019. These were actually the posts that I used on my Facebook page. Veronica Marie Weems is married to Thomas Weems. They both are very familiar with a man named Trevor. But yet, Veronica Weems, she has a baby with Emilio Montoya. And both of them, they know Trevor too. There's a baby shower that Veronica and Emilio have, and a man named Trevor is there. Then, somehow, she ends up in a relationship with, ding, 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 yep, you guessed it, Trevor Rowe, and he is 27 years old. But throughout it all, she has a very beautiful baby girl named Miriam Aviana Rebecca Jester Montoya. However, there is a slight custody battle with Montoya and Weems. The father had taken his daughter to the hospital after she just wouldn't stop crying, and she had tested positive for methamphetamine. Montoya had tried to get custody of his daughter, but nothing happened. He even described Trevor's house as filthy with dog mess everywhere. Trevor even had a rap sheet, but what's more alarming is he actually left his very young son and daughter on a bicycle to go and get food. And the only reason why this was found out, because the kids had let the alarm off and the police had came, and the charges were just dropped. No reasons, but they were just dropped. Maybe this is why he felt it was so easy to do what he is currently in jail for now, because nothing was ever done. Again, Emilio, he really tried to get custody of Marian. He knew the situation with meth all too well because it ended his 34-year-old sister's life in 2017. For a while, I had been under the impression that Veronica Weems was at work, but that's not even what happened. She was home, asleep, and she just basically told Trevor to take the baby, just so she could go back to bed. And this is according to an article I read out of Suffer the Little Children. Weems went to sleep, and Trevor, he went to work as a roofer. So, it's questionable, I know. Why didn't he just leave the baby with the mother and say, look, wake up, take care of your kid? But he didn't do it. He took the baby with him, and she went back to sleep peacefully. He would take the baby girl with him in his Dodge Charger. He put her in a backpack. Now, I found the biggest backpack. I don't know what type of backpack he used, but this is an army backpack, and it's quite large. And she was 10 months old, a little chunky for her age. So I'm trying to see what could she have possibly fit in. So I chose this one. So he put her in this backpack, and he zipped it up and he put it on the floorboard, and he went ahead and continued with his roofing job. He said he would check on her from time to time, and she'd managed to get out. He really thought this was a good idea to put her back in the backpack and zip it up again. This time he decides to put her in the trunk of his car. That's right, and she's still in the backpack and it's still zipped up. Around lunchtime, he actually rode around, got lunch, ate, went to a convenience store, got some cigarettes. He said he checked on her. She was lightly crying, but she was breathing. Did he change her? I didn't read that anywhere. Did he feed her? I didn't read that anywhere. did he at least let her get some fresh air? I didn't read that anywhere. After his 5-hour shift, it was no wonder that when he checked on Marion, she was pale and she had stopped breathing. He drove to some type of intersection where he had called 911, and there's actually a snippet of a 911 call on YouTube. But Marion had died. Trevor was arrested and in jail without bond, and I think later they made his bond a bail for $2 million, according to the Lubbock Avalanche Journal. He has remained in jail this entire time, this whole 2 years, and he has been charged with capital murder, and he has confessed to what he has done, stuffing this little girl in a backpack for several hours. Now the Montoya family, they are still grieving for this baby and very upset by it. In a discussion with the father, Emilio Montoya, he talks about his daughter. He says, quote, she was giggly, bubbly, a little girl who would talk for days, even though it wasn't really any words that she was saying, but she would tell you how it was, end quote. She knew that she was daddy's little girl, and she knew who her father was. He said that she would scream "Dada" when she heard his voice over the phone, and she was even starting to walk really good around then. She liked looking out the windows at the dogs, and she loved playing with the house cat and trying to chase it. So it seemed like this little baby girl had a lot of energy. Marion's grandmother, Sheila Montoya, said that she wanted to keep the memory of her granddaughter, Marion, alive in the community. She said that she didn't want Marion's memory to die, and she wanted people to know that this happens more than a lot of people think, and I do agree with that. The Montoya family believes that this baby had been mistreated in the past by Trevor when he was living with Veronica Wesley. And of course, if you can stuff a baby in a backpack and leave her there for hours and just go to work, then of course, things were worse going on in that house. I did peep on Veronica Wesley's page to see what did she do these past 2 years after the death of her daughter. Well, she appears to have had 2 more children by a man that she is engaged to. So, congratulations. And she does have pictures of her deceased daughter on her Facebook page as well. And I'm sure that it probably was painful for her when her daughter died, if she's a real mother, and the way she died. And I'm sure she should still feel guilty about that, most definitely. I mean, letting this man take your baby to work when you should have just gotten up and taken care of your child. A lot of people have said that she needs to be in jail too. I'm just hoping that there is justice for Marion, and that this was a tragic case, and this was one of the cases that stayed on my mind. Children's lives matter. Rest in peace, Marion.